about you hurting for long. Oh, it's already gone. Got time, but money's not something that's free. Seems the roll of the dice never rolls back to me. And oh, it's already gone. A bird in my hand, 2 cans in the other, start spinning around. Now here comes another, and oh, it's already gone. And here comes the feeling when you don't got nothing, and all you wanna do is get up and start running. You can't hang long 'cause you know it's gonna start up again. Here's one thing that I know for certain: this life's too short to be worried about you hurting for long. Oh, it's already gone. And all you want to do is get up and start running. You can't hang long 'cause you know it's gonna start up again. Here's one thing that I know for certain: this life's too short to be worried about you hurting for long. Whoa, it's already gone. Already gone. It's already gone.
What is up, Jags fans? I hope you guys are doing good, because we need a little bit of positive energy going into tonight. So let's harness it all. I know we got a lot of ill feelings. I know we got a little bit of resentment toward the Jags, but we're going to turn that around starting right now. Listen, boys, your team is 6-3. Listen, if you've been a Jaguar fan for a long time, 6-3 is a good place to be. We're going to get into the film. I'm going to talk about the film. I promise I'm not going to talk as long this time. I'm going to get straight into the film. I promise. But before we do, we have to first fix the the monitor with the webcam. All right. So now that we've done that, before we do all that, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell. A lot of people were here right off the bat. I really appreciate it. We're going to get to all of that. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and the Instagram, the Twitter. I posted on Instagram today. I felt kind of cool about it because I'm trying to get better about that. So I did. But we're going to get to all the film, all of the stuff. Here's what I want to hear out of you guys tonight. Like, are you concerned? And if you back the scope up enough, are you really worried about Press Taylor? I know that's the common theme. Like, I know everybody on Twitter and Reddit is like, get rid of this guy. The reason why Doug Peterson lost his job in Philly was because of Press Taylor. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I think when we watch the film, the All-22 specifically, I think, like, there may be something different than that. And I know you guys want to blame the O-line, and I know you want to blame Press Taylor. And I think everyone has equal fault to go around. So we're going to get to all of that. I want to get to your comments. My clips are unusually like look at this. Like look at this. My film is like look how like in depth I made these notes. Like I wanted to make sure that we had all of our notes ready to go here. Because there was a lot that I wanted to remember about each play. So we're going to get into that. I found some plays that I think are noteworthy. I don't think you guys should freak out. I really don't. Listen, I've told you guys before, I've been in the athletic administration my entire life. Like I've worked in athletic administration my entire life. And the best piece of advice I can tell you, literally, you guys know I love you guys. You guys know it. Like I tell you that every show. The best piece of advice I've ever gotten about athletics is sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Take that for what it's worth. But I think after we go through this film, you guys will see that maybe it's not so much the Jags being a bad team as the 49ers being a good team and the game plan just not being there. Okay, we talk about all the time. I tell you this all the time. A lot of time coaching between offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators comes down to rock, paper, scissors. And I know that sounds like an oversimplification, but a lot of times it does come down to that. And like they legit were hitting rock every time we hit scissors. I know we're looking for people to blame. And I know it was at home. And I know a lot of people were at the game. And I know the national media was watching. I get all that. I really do. But like, let's not freak out. We're 6-3. I got film. I'm going to spend a couple minutes getting into comments. And here's why. If this is your first time watching the show, which I hope it's not, but if it is, this is a fan show. Like the comments drive the show. I'm a fan. You guys are fans. I clip film to just look at that I think is noteworthy. And we're going to get to all that. Like these shows usually last an hour. So buckle up. Get ready. We have a lot to talk about. I want to get to some of these comments. Mark Moon was the first one in the comments. So a lot of people tried to get here first, and Mark Moon was first. So we got to give credit to Mark Moon. And the only way you can be first is if you hit the notification bell. And even then, it's hard to be first. Like we do shows Tuesday and Friday nights, like religiously at 9 p.m. So just, hey Siri, set my calendar 9 p.m. Tuesdays and Fridays. Whatever you got to do. You may keep a different calendar. You may keep a handwritten calendar. That's fine. But that's when we do them. In the my Siri's going off. In the off season, we do weird stuff. So the Twitch is in the video description. All of that. Make sure you're into all that. B Holly was close. William was close. Robbie Santos says, "What up?" Matthew Guidry says, "Let's go." I made a live show with the fire emoji. Robbie Santos says he was actually fourth. That's good self-awareness right there, Robbie. Israel Otero, who's a great commenter, says, "What's going on, Jason?" Not much. Had a great day today. I have this guy who's older than me and who I look at as a mentor in my life. And I meet with him like once a month. I met with him today. So my mental toughness is like, I'm cloud 9 right now. So you guys caught me on a bad night. If you're trying to catch me on a pessimistic note, tonight's not that night. It's not that night. William says, Noti gang coming in strong. B Holly says, "Hey, let's go." Matthew Guidry says, "Ready to watch this horror movie." It's not good. And Matthew Guidry brings me to my first point, and I'm going to go straight to the film after this. I am going to dissect this film as a coach in the coach room. Here's what I don't want you to think. I don't want you to think that I'm someone who could play the position better than any of these guys. I don't want you to think that I know more than the Jaguars coaches because they watch 10 times more film than I do. But I do spend a lot of time watching film. So I am going to, and let's get our minds right here, because you guys are smart and you're capable. You're able to be, we call it critical thinking. You're able to critical think. You can empathize with what's going on, but at the same time be like, these people are high-level athletes. The 49ers are high-level athletes. The Jaguars are high-level athletes. We can be critical and at the same time respect their skill set. So let's do that. Okay? Let's be critical. And I'm going to talk like I'm a coach. I've been a coach for a long time. I've been a football coach for a long time. We can talk like we're coaches in the film room, but at the same time, we can respect the fact that these athletes have God-given talents that are amazing. Okay? So I got that out of the way. All right, here's what I want to show first. It's the first play of the game. And like, I don't know why this stood out to me as the first play of the game. But like, I feel like on the first play of the game, like, let's get some yards, right? You've had a bye week to get ready. I feel like on the first play of the game, you should be ready to go. And here's what deeply concerns me. And in the spirit of honesty, I have a lot of issues. The tackles played horrible. I don't think the Jaguars' offensive game plan was good. We had key players make bad plays in key points. But those are all things that you guys already know. But let's get to the film. Again, we're going to break it down. This is the first play of the game. Okay, so here's the issue I have. I think one of your best receivers is Evan Ingram. We all agree there. And I think one of your best blockers is Luke Farrell. I think they both do their job really well at those respected positions. I think Luke Farrell is a great hybrid type tight end. And I know he's kind of buried on the depth chart behind the newly drafted Brenton Strange. But I actually like Luke Farrell. And obviously I love Evan Ingram. I have said time and time again that I was wrong about Evan Ingram. I initially thought we could find tight end value or receiver value there. But I reversed that course. I think Evan Ingram is one of the most valuable players on our team. I'll say he's the third most valuable player. I think it's Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Evan Ingram. That's my tier of valuable offensive players. So here's what I don't like. You would think in this pre-snap, we're set up in a decent formation, right? Like I kind of like this. You guys know me. I hate this like tight formation. I hate when you have your entire team playing on one half of the field. And if you look at where the ball is on the left hash, and we have everybody to the right. I think that makes the job a little too easy on the defense because they're obviously playing a cover one or a cover three, a one high safety, and now they're literally playing with half the field. That makes their zone drops or even their man drops a little easier. You guys know I hate that. I hark on that all the time. And I think the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan does well. He shows you this pre-snap, and then he shifts or motions out of it, and then makes your defense declare what they're doing. He's taught Brock Purdy enough to know where to go with the ball. They can pick apart of most defenses. That's just good offensive game plan. This is the first play of the game. Okay, so we have Evan Ingram and Luke Farrell, right? Think about what you would think they would do in any given snap. Evan Ingram comes in, motions pre-snap. Okay, so now we have Evan Ingram, an insanely highly paid pass-catching tight end. Luke Farrell, a rookie contract paid tight end. Luke Farrell's going to run a drag, and Evan Ingram's going to run a pass block set. I get you're trying to be tricky. I get you're trying to be, a little confusing to the defense. But let's get yards on the first play. Maybe that's just me. That's not how I would do it. So let's just take a look at what happens here. They're pass setting here. Trevor immediately is going to roll out to the right. I like it. I mean, I've said time and time again, Trevor Lawrence is very good on the run. He's very accurate. But we're going to put him here on the run here. So if we pause it here, we have Christian Kirk on a 10-yard dig route, covered up, not open. Okay, good defense. We have Calvin Ridley on his typical speed out. Trevor's got some pressure in his face, so we can't really blame him. The biggest issue here is that Luke Farrell is like tripping over his own feet on a drag route, and Evan Ingram is pass blocking. That's not what I want. That's not what we need. Okay, the Jags need Evan Ingram running for a route, and we need Luke Farrell blocking. So it's no doubt that we have this happening. First play of the game, Trevor Lawrence basically has to throw it out of bounds. Okay, again, you can recover from this, but you're starting behind the 8 ball. It is what it is. The same drive, third down. Okay, third down. So, not the same drive. I have to find it here. It's this one right here. This is the same drive, okay? And this is what I want to kind of get to. And this is kind of my motif of the night. And I posted this on Twitter like an hour ago for those of you that are Twitter degenerates like me, or X or whatever it's called. So this is third down. We do a little pre-snap motion. We bring Etienne from wide receiver into running back. I actually like this because what this does is, again, any type of pre-snap motion makes the defense declare what they're doing. So look here, we have a safety here. They're all communicating. Look at this. They're all pointing, and they're all like communicating what to do. So if Trevor's patient enough, look, watch here. So now he steps back. He reads what the defense is in. We're all good here. Like, we're good. But watch, Trevor Lawrence makes a pre-snap audible. And I trust Trevor Lawrence on a pre-snap audible. But he did this almost every other play. Like, I refused to watch this film until tonight. I didn't. This is fresh film for me. I know a lot of times I talk about how I watch the film earlier in the day, I clip it, and then I come back later and I do the show. This is fresh. Trevor made a lot of pre-snap audibles. Now, people on Twitter told me that it was because he saw that the D-line was coming after him and he needed to make a change. That's fine. I will take that. But for the third play in a row, you're going to see everybody pretty much run curls. He makes a pre-snap audible. So at this point, Trevor's calling the play. Now, a little insight, and I know I'm talking a lot. I'm sorry. I'll go through the film quickly. But a lot of times what offensive coaches will do is they'll call two plays. They'll call two plays into Trevor. They'll give him the play they want, and they'll give him the check play. So if you don't see what you like or they're in a different coverage than we expected, check to this play. So this is probably the second call. This is probably the check play, or Trevor's been given the liberty to change the play. Regardless, it does come down to the offensive player. He's going to change the play here, and we're in, again, this... I hate it because we're in this tight formation. Like, use the whole field. Like, you're given 53 yards for a reason. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking. Okay, all right. So here we are. We're in the check play here. Watch the route concepts. So he's taking his 3-step drop. I paused it here for the 3-step drop. The pocket's not bad for a 3-step drop. We have one receiver who's not looking at the ball and double covered. We have one receiver who's getting jammed down the field, not looking for the ball. And we have Christian Kirk, who is basically being covered up on an out route. Now, I know you have a Brenton Strange drag coming here. And now this is probably the right read to hit Brenton Strange here. And Trevor would probably tell you that. But he wanted that out route, and it wasn't there. Luke Fortner and Walker Little got pushed back into the pocket. Trevor's in trouble, and it's a sack. So not a great call there. Not a great call. All right. I love third downs. So let's go to another third down. This is another third down. This is 3rd and 15. Now, another thing that's disappointing is this is a 3rd and 15 because we had a delay of game. This is the end of the second quarter. A delay of game at home. Coming off a bye. Things happen. So I'm not going to harp on it, but I would like to see this not happen. So the Jags are in this empty gun set. They're in 3-by-2. We call it 3-by-2 because they have 1, 2, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. We read it left to right like a book. So if you ever hear that formation, that's what we're talking about, right? So we're in 3-by-2, empty set. Like, again, this is 1, 2, 3, a 3-step drop. Okay, so take a look at where we're at. Now, I know the issues were the tackles. I know that, guys. I know that. But to be fair, they had a tough matchup with Chase Young and Bosa. You have a triple team on a nose tackle. This can't be what we do on an empty set. It just absolutely cannot be. Trevor's going to step up in the pocket, and look at where the receivers are at. Vertical route, not looking at the ball. Press there, not looking at the ball, not looking at the ball. And then I think this is Kirk running this fake zig route, fake whip route, and then back to in. So this route is going to take like 8 seconds to develop. Watch this. There's no one even looking at the ball by the time the edges get to Trevor. It's a sack. 3rd down. All right, here's another 3rd down. Okay. again, you're going to see Trevor make a check pre-snap audible at the line of scrimmage. All right. And again, like I don't know if you can see this. I have on this right here. Third down, I don't know what's wrong with this play, but no one's open. Okay, that's legitimately what I call this play. And I'm not going to bore you with it because no one's open. Okay, here's Trevor Lawrence making a check pre-snap. All right, again, looking around, and this is fair. Like, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys looking like they're blitzing. So they don't end up blitzing. Both the linebackers drop. This is just a fake blitz up the middle. But if you're Trevor, like you've been sacked all game. This is later in the game. You can't afford to just be destroyed like you have been. So he's going to make an audible here. And he does the right audible. He calls a screen here. Okay, he calls a screen pass. And he calls a screen pass, but unfortunately, and look around. Look right here. We're going to pause it again. Okay. Looking at Trevor, looking at Trevor, looking at Trevor. All 5 listening to Trevor. Everybody's looking at Trevor for this pre-snap check audible. And he calls a screen. Okay? I promise you he calls a screen. Now watch how it unfolds. He's calling it. Nobody is turning around for the ball. The linemen are getting out to block. Look at this. They're looking for someone to block in a screen. And all 3 receivers are looking for a block. So nobody knew what the play was here. Watch it again. He makes the pre-snap check. He calls an audible. And there's nobody there. So he gets sacked. And I know we want to blame press and Doug. And maybe it is their fault for not having the group ready. But Trevor pre-snap called a screen route, and not a single person turned around to catch the ball. And this is third down. I have 5 third down plays clipped because third downs are that important. Now, I know I'm super behind on comments, so I'm just going to kind of pick and choose some comments to read. If I missed your comment, type it again. We're a fan show. Shay's the channel member and probably the most knowledgeable here. Shay could do my job. He says, I'm worried about Press Taylor. There is a flow and a vibe when calling plays. He hasn't been able to find that this year. It's way more than him, but we can't fix the O-line right now, so let's try. So I'll just throw this out there. Is it impossible to fix the O-line? And again, I know you don't want to have a bunch of different people out there, but does Ezra Cleveland at left guard, is that going to make us worse? Because Walker Little played terrible. And I know he came back from injury. I know he hadn't played in a while. And I know the 49ers are good. Naps on Twitter, you guys may know him, called them the Monstars. Does Ezra Cleveland give us something better there? Timmy Devil, who's going to bring us down to earth, says, I told you, United. I did not have a good feeling. I called it. Our offense is too mediocre. Israel Otero says, Week 12 decides this division. People are getting a little worried about the Texans. I get that. Volkfang says, channel member Volkfang says, well, it actually sounded like Travon Walker was playing well. So 52? I have one play where Travon Walker plays really well. I will give you that. Sharney says, I'm dreading this one. This is not a good one, boys. This is like my first couple clips are me critiquing the coaches and the game plan and the calls. The rest of my clips kind of go into individual performances. And again, I'm going to preface it with saying, I know they're great athletes, but you got to do your job. And a lot of people did not do their job at bad times. Sea Breacher, channel member, and Sea Breacher is also a mod on my Twitch channel. So if you look in the channel description, we do shows Tuesday and Friday nights. Most nights that I'm not on YouTube, I'm on Twitch. So jump on there, talk Jags. Sea Breacher's there all the time. Honing his Rainbow Six skills. Although I think I may have convinced him to kind of give up the lost journey of Rainbow Six and maybe move on to a more adult game like Rust. But, that's just me. Shay says 49ers have a top 5 guys at their position in the NFL at almost all positions, offense and defense. DJM says, Jason Son, we suck. We don't suck. We're 6-3, DJM. And I know you're saying we're the same old Jags, but we're not. I sat in that stadium in the 2010s and watched us win a combined 15 games. So to see a team 6-3, it's going to take a lot for me to start complaining. Volkfang says, we'd have mostly top 5 guys at their position if our players executed to their potential. Care Bear Sheriff says, worst O-line in the league. I don't remember it being this bad last season. So I was talking to a guy today, and he was talking about how, like, win percentage, technically, we're the worst in the league. Now, I could go on a rant about how you can even begin to statistically quantify win percentage when we don't know what the play is. That's what always gets me. Like, we don't know what the call is. We don't know if the O-line had a pre-snap check to shift to the right or to the left. So we don't know. Like, how do you know a win block rate? A lot of times these offensive linemen are so athletic and smart that they'll cover up for their other offensive linemen's mistakes, similarly to a DB who gets beat on a vertical and the safety comes over the top and the safety kind of is there but not quite, and we blame the safety when it was the DB's responsibility. That happens on the O-line a lot. So I'm not saying you don't have the right to blame people, but let's just be careful and keep in mind that we don't know what the play call was. Now, I know we've all watched enough football to know what good football looks like. So I'm not trying to patronize you or gaslight you, right? But let's just keep everything in perspective for now. Zach Hunt says, I think the fumble touchdown that got called back was very telling of what the vibe and the attitude of the locker room is. Now, Zach brings up a good point, because during the game in the first half, I looked at my buddy. You guys know Brodell. You know Mike. He's on here rarely. I said, look at the 49ers energy and look at the Jags energy. The 49ers were dancing on the field. They came out hyped, and the Jags looked like they were on a business trip. They looked like they were just trying to, like, punch the clock. And I'm only getting that feeling and that vibe from watching their body language on the field. But watching the 49ers dance to the music that's being played over the loudspeaker, hyping up their fans and their crowd in an away game, and watching the Jags look like they just showed up, that was tough for me to watch. That really was. Brett Zimmerman says, hey, Jags United. What's up? All right, let's move on to, here's what I was talking about with, like, the protection sliding perfectly. Let's get to some defense. And the defense didn't play great either. But watch what happens here pre-snap. Let's watch about it. It comes down to rock, paper, scissors. So the 49ers do some motion. The 49ers call a slide protection to the right. Okay, now it's to the field, so it's not insanely hard to imagine they would call that. But look what the Jags do. The Jags stunt everybody to the defense's right, offense's left, and they drop Trevon Walker into coverage. This is the perfect offensive call. Rock, paper, scissors. They called rock. We called scissors. This happened time and time again. You can blame the coaches. You can blame the game plan. That's fine. I'm not going to stop you from doing that. But this does happen from time to time. The fact that it happened seemingly almost every play is alarming. I'll give you that. But this is on Caldwell. This is like the 49ers called it right. Shanahan just got us here. Watch this slide protection. That's a slide protection to the right. We called the wrong drop. Purdy has all day, middle of the field, and he's able to find his receiver in the middle of the field. No defense on earth is covering that in a zone when we stunt everyone to the left and they slide protect everyone to their right, our left. It's just not going to happen. It's just not. I don't really know what happens here either. This was like we talked about in the pre-show, the Friday night show where we break down what the Jags need to do to win. We talked about how they got to run screens to just basically take the edge rushers out of the game. They got to run draws and inside zones to win. Now, Javon Hargrave ate our interior offensive line. But I don't really know what Anton Harrison's doing here. Now, again, this could be Anton Harrison not being a good player. And if I'm in the film room and if I'm a defensive coach, I'm saying, Anton Harrison, you got to be better. Okay, you have to be better. You cannot run an inside zone where your right guard kicks out and you have a cross block. So your basically lead blocker is Anton Harrison. You cannot go this entire play without touching anybody. That can't happen. You have to find work. I'm sorry. And look what happens here. I mean, this is how it was drawn up to go. I mean, pushes the guy into him. I mean, we got to get a better effort out of that. That's low effort. That's low energy. We're not going to gain any yards if you don't block. That's the bottom line. Usually I have some sort of like rhyme or reason to my plays that I show. Tonight I don't. So we're flipping back to the offense here. This one's on Trevor. And now, again, this is later in the game, so maybe he's a little spooked about the pass rush, and maybe he's seeing ghosts, as some people will call it. But the Jags, again, in their tight formation, because you know what? Why not? Let's play on a third of the field, even though we have 53 yards. And we're going to line up here. We're going to run. Again, Trevor has a decent pocket here. Okay? Decent pocket. So we'll pause it here. So right here, like this is a pretty good job by the O-line. It's 5-on-4. You would expect them to do a good job here. But to be fair, Ingram not open, Ridley not open, Kirk not open, Strange not open. Check down to ETN is there, but it's 1st and 10, so Trevor's trying to pick up some yards. If he was a tad more patient, look at Brenton Strange. Now, at this point, Trevor's seeing ghosts. He's feeling this pressure here. I get that. Maybe Anton Harrison, maybe hold your block for like a split second longer, and Brenton Strange is standing by himself. Okay? Standing by himself. Trevor's going to run. Again, Brenton Strange standing by himself. So, again, like I don't want to be too harsh on Doug Peterson and more specifically Press Taylor, because this is more on A, Anton Harrison not finishing his block, and B, Trevor not keeping his eyes downfield. But he's obviously looking to the left. But Brenton Strange is wide open here. And he's going to run for a gain of 5, which really isn't even that bad. But like that was like a tutty play. That was a tutty play. Robbie Santos says Foye had 2 sacks. Most consistent defensive player that we have. XT Gamer says, United, should we be worried about Zay Jones? 32 minutes and we're just now talking about Zay Jones. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. I read everything that y'all read, taking the necklace off. It's one of those situations where he has a baby mama down in Orlando or Tampa, wherever it was. And like, I can't sit here and do a life lesson about how having a baby mama or having a child who doesn't live in, like, that just gets difficult, right? Like, a lot of times there's nothing you can do about that. And Zay Jones is a really, really good guy. And, like, I know people who know Zay Jones who will vouch for him as a good guy. You can't make dumb decisions like this. You can't. And what's sad is that everybody in the chat, if I asked you, hey, have you ever made a bad decision? You all could give me a bad decision. But the fact that he's in the limelight and the fact that he's a professional football player and that he's paid millions of dollars to play a sport and to be an entertainer, his life is in the spotlight more than ours. So you have to hold yourself to a higher standard. It's hard. I want Zay Jones back more than anybody, but you just can't make that decision in that moment. Now, I've heard there's going to be things that are coming out that may, vindicate him a bit, but the issue with the law isn't the problem. It's the issue with the NFL. If you make the NFL look bad, they come down with a hammer. Not to mention domestic dispute issues, which is like the biggest problem pro sports face. So regardless, he's found himself in a domestic dispute situation in an entertainment industry that has now a zero tolerance for domestic dispute issues. So regardless of whose fault it is or the mitigating situations, we're not probably going to see him for the rest of the year. I wouldn't worry about him as a person. He's made a good amount of money. I don't know what his future holds. Love the guy. Wrong place, wrong time, maybe? I don't know. Shay says, this is a great breakdown so far. Oh, thanks, Shay. I honestly kind of thought I was dragging here. 35 minutes has flown by. You can tell the 49ers had an answer for almost every single play. Had to be defeating feeling during the game for the Jags. Well, it was for the fans. I know, Shay, I know you have a little bit better view than us fans do. But, I mean, everyone I talked about how they had the most annoying 49ers fans around them. The guy behind me just yelling in my ear all game. And I didn't even have a single moment where I could turn around and be like, that's right, we got you. Not a single moment. There's one drive the Jags look good on. Let me pull it up here. Like, I wish I could, like, be happy about this, but I really can't, because the reality of it is that Christian Kirk, let's watch this play first. This is how it sets up. So I know Jamal Agnew got hurt. Christian Kirk basically doesn't catch a punt. Could have caught it. I mean, it wasn't landed at the 11. I know you're taught to keep your heels at 15 and let it bounce behind you. I'm not blaming Kirk. I'm really not, because he's not the kick returner. This is not what he does. Just very unfortunate for the Jags that this punt bounced at the 11 and then rolled to the 1. Not ideal. Not ideal. So then we come out, we run like a quick pass, a draw, things like that. And then remember what we talked about on the Friday night show? We said we're going to have to eliminate Chase Young and Nick Bosa from the game. The only way to do that is to get rid of the ball quick, screens, draws, let them get upfield. When they start playing conservative against us, then start getting it out vertically. But we never established that. So this is the drive after that. Okay, so take a look at what we do. And this is, I fast forward some plays here. Okay, so after we get a little bit of breathing room, we run a screen to D'Ernest Johnson. Great job. Got a lot of yards. Excellent play call there, Press or Doug, whoever calls it. We're going to fast forward a little bit. Here's the very next play. We're going to run an inside draw to D'Ernest Johnson. Doesn't pick up a lot, but he picks up 3. Okay, that's fine. Fast forward. I skipped a little bit too far. That's my bad. But if you take a look here, the very next play is a screen. We run a screen back to D'Ernest Johnson. Picks up 20 yards. Okay, fast forward to the next play. This is at the back end of the play. Fast forward to the next play. All right, let's take a look at what we do here. 11 gun, trips out to the right. Screen to Christian Kirk. Again, 5 yards, but that's okay. I'll take it. The screen worked. Okay, moving on to the very next play. All right, this is all the same drive. Pre-snap motion, Brenton Strange. 11 personnel again. Pre-snap motion, inside draw. Okay, 3 yards. But at least we went forward. Not a big deal. Okay? Fast forward to the very next play. Let's take a look here. Same drive. Trevor's going to go empty. He's going to pre-snap motion ETN back into the backfield. A little pre-snap check. Gets the defense off sides. Ridley might have moved. Who knows there? Take a look. This is a Kirk out, and Kirk makes a good play in space. This is the only play on the entire drive that wasn't a screen or a draw. The only play. Okay? So then moving on. So that after that, we move on to the next play. Tim Jones, who I thought had a great game, by the way, comes in, inside zone. 3 yards, not great. But at least we're moving the ball forward. Okay? So didn't work. So what does Press Taylor draw up? A little pre-snap shift out to the outside. A screen. Another screen to Tank Bigsby. Bigsby picks up 4. Okay? Screens and draws. All right, next play. That's fine. We'll take a look at this. Tackle for the end zone. Very next play. Trips out to the right. Screen again. Evan Ingram. Picks up yards. Great job. We get to the 21-yard line. Okay, here's the issue. The next 2 plays, we throw the ball downfield, incomplete. We end with a field goal. Only 3 points of the game. Only time we scored all game was when we ran inside zone and screens every single play. Now, I have a full-time job that requires me to be there from 9 to 5. I watch Jags film for fun. I watch the opponent's film for fun, to talk to you guys. How am I going to sit here and know that's the key to scoring and they don't? If you would have ran this enough, you now eliminate Young and Bosa from getting to the out on speed rushes. You can't speed rush when we throw a screen behind them every single play. And we showed it here. I'm way behind on comments here. Volkfang says Trevor has been feeling that ghost pressure and abandoning his reads too quickly all season. So you're blaming the O-line. That's fair. Otero says there's a video that shows Fred Warner saying they don't know what they're doing, and one of our guys says, yeah, you're right. I mean, I showed you the screen. Any player on the field on that screenplay where no one runs out to catch the screen is a good indicator that we didn't know what we were doing. Zach Hunt says, I don't know how a quarterback can improve on a pocket awareness, but that's what Trevor needs to work on, which is weird, Zach, because that was one of his like best attributes coming out of college. And even in that Urban year, his pocket awareness was really good. And last year on that run, his pocket awareness was really strong. But yeah, I mean, he's seeing ghosts right now. Ben Perry says, pretty sure that was Cam Robinson who said that, which is interesting coming from a veteran. Brett Zimmerman says, this game was an absolute embarrassment. We were on a bye, and we should have been rested up and ready to play, and it looked like the play calling was lethargic, and we just couldn't get anything going. Timmy says, Trevor was padding and double clutching all day from start to end. Shay says, hey, Evan ran right by me there on the screen pass. I love it, Shay. I freaking love it. All right, let's take a look at another play here. This was the touchdown that Purdy scored on. And I know we've seen this play a lot, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time breaking it down. But this was just so lucky here. I mean, Purdy throws it. I mean, at this point, you have a defender. I mean, this is just who's the better athlete right here. And I hate to say that because Campbell's the one that makes the bad play here, but this is like middle school, Moss, get a football, get 10 of your buddies in a big group, throw it up, and see who catches it. We've all played that game. We called it jackpot when I was growing up. They call it Moss nowadays. This is what this is. This is jackpot. And they score. Now, did Campbell think the ball was going to Kittle and makes the wrong read? Maybe. And does that happen? Maybe. But at the end of the day, you let Brandon Ayuk score a touchdown, and maybe he pushed off a bit. Maybe it's a little bit of a push off. Kind of like jackpot. But not good. Not good. Here's a play I saw on Twitter. And everyone was blaming the O-line here. And again, you know me, I like to play devil's advocate. The whole team played bad. Etienne's my guy. Etienne is my guy. You guys know me. I will stand up for Etienne. I think he's our best offensive player right now. This is on him, man. This was an inside zone. This is the play that we knew would work. Okay? Like this, Fortner blocks down. You have a double team right here on the 3 technique. You have Walker Little coming across to cross block. You have Cam Robinson sealing to the outside. This play is designed to hit right here. Okay? Now, I think the 49ers play this well. And he's probably only gaining 3, maybe 5 yards if he falls forward. But Etienne hits the wrong gap right here. Watch him. Etienne hits the wrong gap. And this is your gap. This is it. This is where you're going to get your yards, okay? And he runs into the back of his O-lineman. And people want to be quick to blame the O-lineman, and they did not play well. Do not take this as some sort of, I'm defending the O-line, because they did not play well. But I feel like we're a little quick when like there's blame to go around everywhere. Bad run. It's not good right there. It's just not. on defense. Again, I had to clip this play on the previous play because it happened so quick. So hang with me here, okay? Previous play, we're going to pause it. The 49ers come out quick. They come out of the huddle quick. Look, I mean, they're almost set, and the Jags are still in their muddle huddle, okay? So here we are. They come out quick. The Jags are still looking around. Josh Allen's not set. He's not set. Cisco doesn't know who he's covering. Darius Williams is still jogging out to Brandon Ayuk. And you have Deebo Samuel, one of the best offensive players in the league, completely unaccounted for. Completely unaccounted for. Okay? So we're going to be here. Look, everyone's still looking around. They don't know what to do. 49ers snap the ball. Now, oh, look at this. You're talking to me if I run a bubble screen here, I'm going to get a bunch of yards? Well, yeah, the Jags aren't set. They don't know what they're doing. They're not even ready. Our safeties, Cisco doesn't have his mouth guard in. And I know Jalen Ramsey never had his mouth guard in, but you're not Jalen Ramsey yet. Get out there. You're going to leave Deebo Samuel open for this play? Oh, shocker. He picks up almost a first down. No one was set. Is that on the coaches? Maybe. No one was set. Absolutely mind-blowing how that happens. There's just a lot to go around, okay? Let me get some of these comments, and then okay, Guy says I blame Chazon. Perfect. You know what, Guy? Perfect timing, because I want you guys and I'm not going to say much. You guys know I don't break down these Chazon films very much. I'm just going to circle him and let it play out. Now, is that Chazon celebrating after he tackled the running Deebo Samuel for a gain of 6? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Should he have been celebrating in this situation? Probably not. Did he make a solo tackle? Yes, he did. Was this the only play I could find on Chazon? Yes, it was. I mean, come on. Can 44 block Rayshon there? Not technically, Jarrett. Not technically. Going to get a freaking guard instead of getting a dog at DN or edge. Arguing over a 4-5 that never panned out for him. It was a joke, by the way. Guy, I know. I'm joking too. Timmy Devil, I'll get back to your comment. I will. Zach Hunt says the fact that it's off a bye is just so worrying. That's what makes people, I think, blame the coaches the most, and rightfully so. But the 49ers were also coming off of a bye. So in math, right, 2 negatives equal a positive. Maybe we could just draw it up to both coaches had a lot of time to game plan, and ours just got out-coached by Kyle Shanahan. And Kyle Shanahan's one of the best coaches out there. Who else has anxiety after watching all these again? I know, Robbie. I know. I only have one more play, I think. I agree. I agree. This is a Timmy Devil's point about getting a dog at DN. Like, I think the D-line, I think the problem is like, even though this is Gotsis, you know, and even though this is Fatu Kasi, and even though this is Dewan Smoot, so you have Gotsis, you have Fatu Kasi, and you have Smoot. Hey, Josh Allen. Like, let's be fair. Like, I never really want these 3 out at the same time. And I get there's injuries and you're tired. I don't know. Like, I never really want this to be the 4 out there at D-line. And I like Gotsis. And I like Fatu Kasi. And I like Smoot. But let's not, like, throw them all out there at the same time. I don't know. That's just me. However, Fatu Kasi makes a good play here. Gets his hands up. That was a big down. I think it was either second or third down. That was a big play. And the fact that a D tackle deflecting a pass is one of the only good clips I could find. Probably not good. Probably not good. So, listen, boys, there's not a lot of good to talk about, but let's not panic yet. We're 6-3. We're first place in the division. If we go on a run and we start winning games, we're going to forget all about this game. Let's not let recency bias get us too worked up. Like, I get it. Like, listen, I live and die by every play as much as y'all do. But at some point, we just got to at least be able to have the ability to have perspective. BT channel member says, I can't overreact to one game. We're still a solid top 10 team. Not yet elite, but solid. The future is still bright. I agree. Zach Hunt says, how do you get the game film? So I have a subscription to NFL Plus, which is their version of whatever version it is. And so that's how I get the film. And you have to wait like 2 days to get the all 22, which is why we do shows on Tuesday. Because if we do shows on Monday or Sunday, then we can't use the all 22. And I love the all 22 because that's where you can see the O-line, D-line, and you guys know I'm an O-line, D-line guy. But I will say this. I was talking to the owner of Toontown. And if you're familiar with the Jacksonville area, Toontown is like a tailgate area. It's a pizzeria by day. Big area where people tailgate. It's where I tailgate every game. We're going to start doing live shows post-game downtown at the stadium. So we're doing a trial run here at one of these games coming up. I'll let y'all know what game it is. And then next season, we are going full live shows at the stadium post-game every game. Pretty excited about that. I'm super excited about that. So if you go down to the game, stop by. It's going to be a great time. I was pumped. I mean, he approached me about it. So thank you guys that have been spreading the word. I tell you guys all the time to spread the word, and I think the word's getting out because he approached me about it, and I think it's an amazing opportunity. Shay says Josh Allen should have had a sack, but Trent held him. Was a great rush and could have gotten a sack against one of the best left tackles. I didn't show I have a play for Trevon Walker. Oh, I didn't show this play. Here. So I really like this play by Trevon Walker. And I saw something where he had some insane win rate where he was top 20 in the league or something like that. Watch him here. This is the Trevon Walker we drafted right here. This is the Trevon Walker we drafted. So this is a good little play right here. Watch him. He's out here at the 9 technique, way outside the tight end. Blows. I mean, that's not a sack. That's a quarterback pressure. It's a quarterback hit. That's why I like PFF sometimes. But this was a good play. This was, I think, second down and led to a long third down. That's a bulldog of a play right there. I could watch that on loop for a while. I really could. That's nice right there. The schedule going to get hard. Well, it gets hard for a lot of teams, Labrador, but you're right. You're right. Israel Otero, the last time we got embarrassed at home, we won 5 in a row. Crossbones says, is all of this fixable? Well, I'm torn between somewhere. I'm between somewhere where the 49ers are one of the best teams in the league, and we had a really bad game. So I think if you combine those two, this type of thing happens. Again, I started the show with sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. BT says, dumb question. There's no dumb questions around here. But does PFF think any of our players have a good game? How do they grade? I intentionally did not pull up the PFF because the answer is no. No one, according to PFF, had a good game. Timmy Devil says, we are not a top 10 on offense. Please stop. We're sloppy. We can't hold on to the ball, and we're horrible at run blocking. I think I have. This was a good play. We got to the edge. This is the first time. I clipped it because this was the first time we tried a sweep all game, and it was the second quarter. So I know we had 3 and outs to start. But we saw on the film when we went through the 49ers film. Again, we went through the 49ers film together. And we saw that they were weak on these toss plays. And I was like, I hope the Jags run these toss plays or sweep throws, like something to get to the edge, to take these edge rushers out of the game. Took us till the midway through the second quarter to run a toss sweep, and we get 10 yards on it. I just don't understand how we're seeing this stuff and they're not. And maybe they're setting it up for the second half. Some coaches like to set up their offense for the second half. But we received the ball first. So probably not a good time to do that. I don't know. This play got called. I mean, I don't really have much to say about this. Cisco makes a check. Like, originally, Campbell was out here manned up on Christian McCaffrey, which I like. Cisco was on Brandon Ayuk, which I like. They're going to make a check. Cisco's going to cover McCaffrey after the motion. And again, this is called a penalty, and you're going to see him kind of set here. But watch and this is a penalty, so I don't want to get too like caught up on this. But watch what Brandon Ayuk does to Campbell here. That's a penalty. Like, it is. But, like, bro, you can't get bodied like that. And maybe I'm being overly critical. I just feel like there's a lot of games where that won't get called. And, I mean, that's like at 5 yards. So, like, a lot of refs, I think, would not call that. And, again, why is Cisco making that check? Like, you're the safety. I don't know. Maybe I'm at this point, I'm getting overly critical. Oh, TK Pike just subscribed. Thank you, TK Pike. Appreciate that. This is the part of the show where I get overly critical, so I need to back off a little bit. I'm not going to be overly critical. I'm not going to get now if we lose to the Titans, we're going to have some hard conversations. I know the Bills just fired Ken Dorsey. Don't think that'll happen because Doug Peterson, for some reason, is attached at the hip to Press Taylor. Whatever. Like, I kind of respect it. And, like, Doug Peterson's got a headset on, too. Right? So, to anyone that wants to blame Press Taylor, like, all of that same blame needs to go on Doug Peterson. I'm not saying you're not wrong for blaming Press Taylor. You have every right to blame Press Taylor. But just make sure all that energy also goes to Doug Peterson because Doug Peterson's got the headset on. He's the offensive guy. He's the mentor to Press Taylor. He's already fallen on the sword once for Press Taylor in Philly. So, just make sure that energy's there. And I don't think you're going to see a situation where Press Taylor gets fired. And I'm wrong a lot. So I could be wrong. Jarrett says, my concern is the offense has looked meddling all season. This game in Houston are just what happens when the defense doesn't show up either. Shay says, it seems more like a perfect storm. The 49ers are back to their dominance, and the Jags had one of their worst games. That's how I feel. I think the 49ers came out and played one of their best games of the season. I was kind of hoping they wouldn't because their last two games on the East Coast, I think it was at Cleveland and somewhere else on the East Coast, they played bad. So I was hoping that they would play bad here on the East Coast, but they didn't. They played good, and we played bad. You're right, Shay, like always. Timmy says, why are there so many offsides, false starts, and delay of games? It's sickening. Zach Hunt says, I'm in the second quarter. In the second quarter, we were putting together acceptable drives, but the turnovers just took all the momentum. Yeah, I didn't clip some of the turnovers because, quite frankly, I was just getting sick of watching it. But listen, I'm not burning the sails yet. We're fine. I think we have a lot of season left. We have a talented roster. It's relatively young. I'm not worried. I would love to see. I saw Dilla tweeted something cryptic per usual about how be looking for a change in game plan next week or play call. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I still have hope for this team. I'll be at the game this Sunday. I'll be there watching Shea. It was so funny. They called a review, and I was like, oh, hell yeah, we're going to see Shea. I see Shea's big old mug on the Jumbotron. I'm like, oh, I point to my buddy. I tell my buddy, I was like, look, that's Shea up on the Jumbotron. As soon as he looks up, after further review, the really on the field stance. Fastest review of all time. So shout out to Shea for being the NFL's best review person, because good Lord was that review fast. Like, fast. Rod Jeeb says, I caught the tail end of the stream. Let's go. We'll turn it around, and I'm staying positive. Thank you, Rod Jeebs. That was what I was trying to get at this whole show. Matthew Guidry says, not a Super Bowl team this year. I've heard that. I'm going to hold out hope, though, Matthew, because I think if you get hot at the right time, you never know what's going to happen. Shay says, great breakdown, Jason. Now let's go beat the freaking Titans. I'll be there. Hey, listen, a lot of people came out to the 49ers game. I went out to the slab, got to take pictures with a bunch of people. Check out my Twitter. I'll be there again this week. I hope to see y'all there. Let me know. Hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. Listen, I love meeting you guys out there. Hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. Message me. And either tailgate, during game, post game. I like to loiter. I'm a loiter. When the no loitering sign, it's not for me. Robert Harrington, channel member, whatever, Robert, says, I think it was an intensity deficit. I haven't read the rest of your comment, but I already 100% agree with you. The Niners had to win after losing 3 in a row, and this game didn't really matter to the Jags compared to the AFC games. They just couldn't match the intensity. I started off the show, Robert, by saying that exact same thing in different words. The energy just wasn't there for the Jags. 49ers were out there dancing on the field, getting hyped, pumping up the away crowd, and the Jags, again, looked like a business trip. Looks like they were going to London to win a game. The energy was not there. All game, I was like, the energy's not there. I got to a low point, boys. And we're like over an hour in, so I can confess this to you guys because you can judge me, and I'm okay with that. I got to a point where I was like making like West Coast jokes, maybe some Gavin Newsom jokes. I was so salty, boys. I was digging deep. I just was trying to hurt them any way I could. Okay, I'm sorry. I know that's not my type. I know I talk life lessons all the time. I was trying to hurt them. I had a 49ers fan behind me freaking yelling every single play, wooing, doing whatever the stupid 49ers chants are. Why is there so many 49ers fans showing up in like full shoulder pads and helmets? Is that a thing they do in California? Where they show up in full gear for their team. I don't know if I've ever seen a Jaguar fan in a helmet and shoulder pads and a jersey as a fan. Jarrett says, if we drop 40 on the Titans, I'll feel better. Matthew Guidry says, gotta beat the Texans and maybe I'll believe again. Israel Otero says, what's more likely to happen? Us beating the Titans or the Cardinals beating the Texans? Definitely us beating the Titans. Texans are a good team. Got a good coach, got a good quarterback. That's all it takes. BT says, are we throwing deep enough? Or we just can't because Trevor doesn't have time? Yeah, it's the latter. Trevor just does not have the time back there. And he's seeing ghosts when he does. And he's checking out of it when maybe the play's called. We watched a bunch of plays tonight where Trevor pre-snap audibled and pre-checked out of the play. He's probably like, these dudes are coming for me. I got to get rid of the ball. I'm getting a little ranty, boys, and that's what happens this late at night for me personally. So I think I'm going to put a bow on it for tonight. I appreciate y'all being here. I had a great time talking with you guys. I will see you guys Friday night. The Friday night show might be a little earlier. I made some plans on Friday night, but we'll keep that just between you and us. Maybe I'll fill y'all in on those plans maybe as the week goes on. We'll see what happens. But it might be an earlier show. So look out for Twitter and Instagram. If you're not following those, follow those now just so that you know if we do a show earlier on Friday, you're aware. Pump for the game. Again, if you're going to go to the game, hit me up. I'd love to meet up with you guys, at least high five, maybe take a shot if you're into that type of thing. I don't know. We got a bunch of good people around here. So let's do that. Again, I appreciate you guys being here. We had a crap ton of channel members here. Robert Harrington, we always love hearing from Shay. BT was here. Volkfang was here. Sea Breacher popped in for a second. We had all kind of people here, so I really, really appreciate it. You guys are the best. You guys know that I love you seriously from the bottom of my heart as I knock over everything on my desk. Thank you guys for the words of encouragement. I appreciate it. I will see you guys on Friday night and on Sunday. But until then, keep those heads up, boys. Keep the optimism up. I will see you guys very soon. As always, go Jags.